anything like me, and I feel sorry for you if you are, you probably have a wife who tells you're getting weaker, you're getting a little heavier.
Well, when you're not off at 7:30, Ron.
Fortunately, we have Kevin Meuret with us today, who is with Mantality Health.
Yes.
We all hear about low T, and what is low T?
Low T is testosterone. T refers to testosterone.
Of course.
And we all have testosterone levels that spike their highest when we're 18 years old as men, and it slowly decreases over time. And we're finding that people in their late 30s, early 40s, the water level drops so low that it really starts to affect their overall health.
The what level?
The testosterone levels slowly drop year over year.
Yes.
Now, our levels are 25% lower than our grandparents' levels.
Really?
My grandfather was a farmer, so he was out physically moving, carrying, lifting, and that physical exertion, it does a lot to increase your testosterone levels. Well, here we are, we're sitting and working. We're sitting in front of a microphone, we're dressed, there's no physical exertion.
Plus, we make kids sit in school in desks, and I'm against that.
You totally got it. So our lifestyle has changed so much that we don't have the physical demands on us any longer, and that really affects our physiology.
Yeah, and we just mark it up to old age, right?
That's right.
But it's not all old age, because I actually took our son to your place when he was like 15, because in my mind, hormones run the show, and there's very little really I thought that addressed it, directly to the individual. And, doctors go for, this and this and this. And those things are affected by hormones, but they just treat this, and this without looking at the hormone. So my son was like, he was cold all the time when he should have been hot, and hot all the time when he should have been cold. And I thought, maybe this is a hormone thing. So we went there and checked it out. How many, do you have young kids go there? Or is it mostly old people?
Not many kids. What we're usually finding, and thank you for the old people comment, because our target market are people my age that are about 42 to 45 years old.
I get it all the time, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. Well, I'm going to talk to you the rest of the time, Ron. I'm not going to ignore her, but I'm just going to look you up. So basically, we only have, for the most part, there are guys in their 40s, but we're seeing people in their mid-30s and some in their late 20s. What's happening is they're much more sedentary, and they don't have the physical demands any longer, and the hormonal balance is really off. There's other things that affect it besides just our physical exertion, and one of those things is going to be the food that we eat. The food that we eat is not nearly nutritionally packed as it used to be. There's a lot more estrogens. We come in contact with the environment. So the whole teeter-totter of our hormone balance is off. So yes, some younger people can run into it, but most commonly it's people in their late 30s and early 40s.
Well, you see these girls, and you hear this now, that girls are developing, their whole bust gets big when they're like 10 years old, and it's from eating chicken that's shot full of hormones, and the food, the meats and dairy products are full of hormones. And does that affect the men as well, I would think? And,
absolutely.
And then how do you know, other than, I'm tired, but how do you know, it's a testosterone thing, as opposed to just naturally
you're
tired, or you have a hangover, or whatever?
That's right. Great question. So us old people must drink a lot too. Is that what you're saying?
We must
know each other. Is that what it is? Okay. Actually, you're not going to know unless you do specific blood tests to measure what the levels are, and then you also do a full workup. We do a full heart workup. We do sleep studies, because sleep apnea can cause a lot of the same symptoms.
Yes.
And then we start to really dig into the whole hormonal cascade. There's lots of different hormones that could cause that feeling. So guys might think it's low T, but we're going to find out for sure. And if it is low T, it's like looking at your speedometer. If you think you're going 65, but your speedometer says you're going 30, you're only going 30.
So Mantality Health then offers treatment for this problem.
Absolutely. We're able to take and first find out exactly what the problem is. 25% of the people do not have any hormonal issues. They have some other health issues. We can refer them back to a specialist.
Really?
Now, what's interesting, you will know this, Ron, guys hate going to doctors.
Yeah.
They hate them. And we do go, we lie.
Yeah.
Do you drink? I think maybe one drink a month. Do you smoke? I don't recall.
Right.
We drank and smoked in the parking lot before we walked in for the appointment.
Yes.
So it's hard to get guys into the doctor, period. So while we have them in there, we pop the hood. We find out everything that's going on, because if you go into your internist's office and you say, I'm gaining weight around my stomach, I'm a little depressed, I'm finding myself fatigued, and I'm very tired, falling asleep, there's alarm bells going off around cardiac issues, and they want to dig deep. So we do all that digging while guys are in our office. We find those things and get them treated early. If those things are normal and testosterone's low, we can immediately dial them back up to where they should be.
So I'm glad to hear that you do blood tests, which makes me think, because I feel like some of these things are so individualistic that there's no way that you can tailor your thing to, you know, every single person. But with the blood test, I guess, is that better than a saliva test?
Very much so. Yeah, with the blood test is the most accurate way to determine it. And we not only look at testosterone, we look at all the hormones, because the testosterone and estrogen sit on a teeter-totter.
Yeah, and men have estrogen too.
Very much so. And it's a very important part of the cascade. So if you think of that teeter-totter, if your estrogen is high, what it can do is it can really be affecting your testosterone level. So people with low testosterone, it might not be low. It's low in comparison to their estrogen. So we bring those estrogen levels down and we restore hormone balance.
Why do you think 25% of the people don't have a problem with it? What are they doing?
You know, it's interesting. With mine itself, it was sleep apnea. They caught the sleep apnea that I had that was affecting my hormonal balance. That been treated, I'm in great shape.
Very interesting.
There's other people that are their physical exertion, their levels aren't there. Once they start to restore a more normally healthy lifestyle, their body responds.
Now, we hear about injections for this. Is that the only solution, injections, or are there other ways?
There's several different ways you can treat it, Ron. One of the ways you can treat it is injections, and that has the most research behind it as far as safe and effective and ways to monitor it. You have a week-long injection that lasts within your system, so you're not taking long-term risks. If you have pellets that are inserted under the skin, which is another option, you have 3 or 4 months worth of testosterone in your system. If your body has a reaction, it's going to be rough 3 or 4 months. There are creams you can put on like androgel, and you'll see those in the commercials. Those have some issues as they go through the skin, causing other problems. We've actually pioneered a new treatment, which is a sublingual, goes under the tongue. It's like a breath strip that goes under your tongue every morning. Just like your body's natural testosterone is high in the morning, so you can take it in the morning, your testosterone spikes. You've got a great dose through the day, and they can be on that on a regular basis. So if you can put that under your tongue, if you can eat a breath mint, you can be on safe testosterone treatment.
But how do you know, like, there's a point, I think you could have too much, right? Too much testosterone?
Yes.
Yeah, and then what?
That's
you
where the certified physicians come in.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we watch that very, very closely. It's a very safe range. I want you to think about testosterone like the interstate. There's a minimum and a maximum. Minimum 45 mile an hour, maximum 65. Those are the safe ranges to travel. We keep people only in those safe ranges.
And how do you do that? By just testing the blood again?
Absolutely. You have to monitor. The only way to do it is to monitor.
Long between that?
The blood turns over every 120 days. So what we do is we first check every month to make sure that all the hormone levels are normal. After that, by checking every 3 months, we're able to monitor and make sure they stay in those normal ranges.
You go to lowtusa.com to find out more, and I assume you can go there also to set up an appointment. You have how many locations in St. Louis?
We have 3 locations in St. Louis, and the best thing on there is a live chat. We have a 24-hour live chat where you can chat with one of our specialists, because you won't always have questions between 8 and 5 and when you have access to a phone. So guys that have a question, they can pop on there and start to chat and get some answers right away.
Let's go down the list of symptoms again so people know what to look for, to know if they should bother to be calling you or not. Whatever.
Absolutely. The number one symptom is they feel off. You know, every guy, when you're watching sports, all of us think, you know, if I took like 3 months, I could probably be pro in this sport. I don't care if it's bowling, baseball. We all think we could go there. As soon as you start to lose that edge, that's your first sign. The next one is you notice you're fatigued. You've really lost some of your edge, where you really feel like getting engaged with your kids, with your wife, with your career. You're becoming a lesser version of who you were. You notice weight gain, where what you used to do doesn't work anymore. You used to eat only a little bit and go to the gym and things would fall off. All of a sudden, it does not fall off. That and your hormone levels are definitely off. The last one you're going to notice is just your overall mood is you're not yourself. The people around you will notice the difference.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, and then go to lowtusa.com, and as you say, there's a live chat thing there. When you go on, that'll pop down. Hi, my name is, and you can talk to him and ask questions right there and then. Kevin Meuret, thank you so much for coming in and talking about Mantality Health. We got to get that name in there, Mantality Health.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for calling me old. I appreciate that. It was a real treat.
It's no problem.
Absolutely.